Welcome to episode 1 of Pull No Punches, the why we're doing this. I am Josh, and this is
Lauren,
my beautiful wife. In this episode, we're going to kind of talk about the why we started getting into content creation, kind of understanding the mental side of it, kind of get into our backgrounds and who we are, what we do here as a married couple, and kind of talk about our business a little bit. Not getting in too much of that, but before we get into that, how's your week going?
it's going pretty good. I mean, it's Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It
I feel like it's
been
a pretty productive week for us. Besides all of the blooming stuff, allergies, super congested today, but yeah, I'm sniffling all over the place. But other than that, I think it's been pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So just a little bit about who we are. We have been married for 7 years now. Got married in 2016, met in 2010-ish in college. And we have 2 beautiful kids, a boy and a girl. And yeah, just a beautiful family, 2 dogs and a cat. Can't forget about them.
Cat was our first baby.
Yeah, first baby was our kitty cat, Milo.
What was his name? Like Lucifer when we picked him up?
Yeah, we adopted him from the Humane Society. And we were sophomores in college, which is the stupidest idea to adopt an animal in college. The litter box was literally sitting in your room on the carpet.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Anyways, we adopted him for $50 and we named him Milo. And he was our first baby. He is now 13 years old this year. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Then we have 2 dogs as well. 2 labs, a yellow and a black. Crazy. We have a zoo.
We do have a zoo. And yeah, 2 babies that are crazy and pulling their tails.
Yep.
Yeah. Guess give us a little bit of a background where you grew up, where you came to school, what sports you played, how you met me.
Oh boy, we're going to be here forever. No, I was born in Spokane, Washington, moved to Bozeman, Montana 10 months after that. And that's where I was that's where I was raised. And I went to school there until I graduated from high school. It was a great place to live, really great community, really good atmosphere, just a good town. I loved living there. It wasn't too big and it wasn't too small, but I definitely would say I'm a small town Montana girl. No, I don't ride horses. I don't own a ranch or a farm, but I did grow up on a golf course. So that was pretty nice. And then, played lots of sports growing up, mainly basketball and soccer. And, that took most of my time in high school. And, Josh always jokes because
the long shorts. It's the long shorts
for basketball.
Yeah.
I had to choose between basketball and soccer when I was a sophomore in high school, and I chose basketball initially, and I told him that, and he was appalled because of the long shorts.
I mean, the timing of when we actually went to school, the soccer and the volleyball shorts were very, very risque. And
that's what you liked?
Basketball shorts were long over the knees.
Yeah.
And not to mention, a lot of lesbians played basketball at that time of when we went to school. It just was a very different time. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's very true. And that's kind of what you connect with that sport. But anyways, yeah. So
I have some stories, but we won't go there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up choosing soccer and getting into the whole process with recruiting and going to tournaments and, looking at colleges. I visited got a couple of offers from TCU, Washington State, University of Idaho, and I got a great offer from University of Idaho Vandals, and I was 2 days away from committing to them.
From
calling
not meeting
the
love of your life.
Yes. Yeah. No, seriously though. And I got a call from the Boise State coach, and I think it was a Tuesday, and he asked me to come visit that weekend, and I did that. We visited with my family and I committed pretty much there on the spot.
Praise Jesus. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Seriously though. I didn't know, growing up in Montana, I didn't know about it was more then than it is now, the big rivalry between the Vandals and the Broncos
Very
at
much
that
so,
time. But now I am so glad.
Well, it was a rivalry, but I don't think we considered it a rivalry as much as they did.
It was a rivalry to them.
Yeah, it was.
But Boise State always kicked butt.
Always.
Yeah. So, hey, what about you? What's your background?
Well, you kind of know it. Grew up in Portland, moved here, as Boise in '99, and just played sports my whole life. That was my world. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an MLB baseball player and an NFL football player, all in the same, kind of like primetime was back in the day.
Yeah.
Went, into high school thinking I was going to play baseball. That was my dream, actually, before football really kind of came to light, and ended up really stepping into the spotlight. My sophomore year, I made varsity, started on varsity. I think I made all conference at that time, and then progressively made all state the next couple of years, and started getting offers and recruited, and ended up coming to Boise State, where I met you.
Isn't that crazy? Like, we both almost went a different route.
It is crazy.
But we didn't.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, praise Jesus that happened.
Yeah.
Went to Boise State as a preferred walk-on. It's not like a preferred walk-on like Rudy. You see, you go and try out, and then maybe make the team, maybe you don't make the team, maybe you're on a practice squad, maybe was recruited to go, and ended up earning my scholarship. Got Scout Team Player of the Year for special teams my freshman year, and just kind of stepped into that role and played a lot of special teams, played a little bit of cornerback. And I'd like to think the best thing that ever happened to me was one day in the weight room.
Yeah, please tell them how we met, or your version of how we met.
I mean, it's the only version there is. I don't know why you keep making it up. It was an early morning. It was probably like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, the football team and the soccer team would work out in the same facility at the same time. I mean, who planned that?
Jesus himself. He knew how to work. He knew how to get a bunch of guys going at 5:30 in the morning.
I guess so.
Especially with those little short soccer shorts on in the weight room.
Yep.
And we walked in, and you had chalk lines all up your butt, and you were squatting, but it looked really heavy. So I walked up and kind of slapped it. I said, "Girl, you need help with that?" I think you slapped me back, honestly.
Yeah, I turned around and said, "Absolutely not. Watch this."
And you squatted it.
Yeah, pretty much how our life
But
goes
then you actually ended up messaging me first.
That's what he always says. So we really actually met at a party through a mutual friend, and he messaged me on Facebook, but he swears I messaged him on Facebook. But
You did.
We cannot go that far back in the archives to 2010 to actually see who messaged who. So we'll never know. And that's really sad.
Yeah, that's very sad. I don't know why.
Welcome to our competitiveness, our whole life.
Yeah.
So
let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about the content side of it and why we really started to go down this endeavor. But before we even get into the why we went into the endeavor, let's talk about the putting yourself out there, kind of the mentality that it's hard to make yourself vulnerable. I know for me and you, it's very tough, but especially you, even though you're so dang pretty, and I want to cuss, you're dang pretty, you're beautiful. Why was it so hard for you?
I don't know. I feel like that's always really been my biggest downfall, whether it be just in relationships or anything in general. Just trying to keep it together. Vulnerability is probably my biggest downfall. And video and being on camera was never my thing. What do you do with your hands?
What do you do with your hands?
Seriously. I could talk on the phone and sell insurance or do whatever, or talk to people on the phone, but you put a camera in front of my face and I'm like,
It's true. It's true. You could have two lines and two words.
Bad. So that's why when Josh proposed this idea, we did really try to start all of this 3 years ago or so. I think we tested out one video and it was terrible. So yeah, I mean, it just, and I felt bad because it was something that Josh was really excited about, but for some reason, just like, I couldn't get on board. I couldn't wrap my head around it. We didn't really have a plan, and that probably made me a little bit more nervous. And it just felt staged, and there, just the content we were trying to talk about. And so I was really apprehensive at that point in our life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still were.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my palms are still really sweaty. So
Let me feel them. Let me feel. Oh, they are. That's gross. Mine are dry as a bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is super funny because I'm the opposite way. Like, put me on the spot in a conversation I know nobody in, I freeze up.
Yeah.
But give me a line, put a camera in my face, totally fine. It's weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's crazy how it works like that.
Yeah. But I mean, to my point, I think I wanted to start this is I saw that a lot of people are building brands on social media, and it's one of those ways that you can kind of put yourself out there, as hard as it is to put yourself out there, because as soon as you start putting yourself out there, you do start getting all those people, whether they're family or friends, that start judging you, right?
Yeah.
And to talk about it a little bit, I mean, my brother made a comment, and I don't think he had the slightest idea that he was saying it that way, but it did kind of hit home, just a chuckle of why we're doing this, or someone said that to him. So, and I think he had all the best intentions, but at the same time, when you're putting yourself out there and you hear something like that from friends and family, it does kind of hit more to the bone.
It does. But I mean, I get it. It's like when you start switching gears and, you know, people are asking family members, like, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
Like,
they haven't done this before. They're being weird now.
Yeah,
like, we should probably unfollow them.
Yeah. Like why all of a sudden are they posting all these videos about doing weird stuff?
Yeah. But as soon as you have one of our videos hit 2 million, now you're cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
It literally happened overnight.
Had 2 views and people are judging you. You get 2 million views.
Yeah. And now everybody talks about are our reels when we see them.
Yeah. Very, very weird mindset.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I get it.
If I can give anybody encouragement is just do it. Like the people that do judge you the most are going to be your best friends and family. And hopefully they're not the ones that are actually hurting you.
Yeah.
And maybe that it does encourage you a little bit, but outside of that group, people only know you of what they see.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And there are some, or not some, but a lot of local people that, you know, we've gone up to, whether it be at church, we've spoken to just through mutual friends that we've never met before, but they've seen our videos.
Yeah.
That just start a conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had that phone call today.
Yeah.
About going and playing on a softball team. And my buddy, the first thing he says is, dude, that video you guys put out today was hilarious. Had me laughing. I mean, he wasn't like, dude, how are you doing?
Yeah.
It was the first thing. It's the icebreaker. And so I feel like that to me has kind of solidified it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of showing you that
100%.
there is a purpose in building a business that we are outside of this.
Yeah.
That really breaks the ice.
Yeah.
And gets people to know you for who you are rather than, you know, we sell insurance. People are put off by salespeople.
Yeah. It's not sexy. Selling insurance is not sexy, and it's not a fun.
But it's sexy with you. It's fun.
Yeah. So that was the other hard thing for me too, is like when we talked about doing content and videos and things like that, like, you know, initially, you know, thought about talking about insurance because we built our business up and it was great and we loved it, but people do not want to listen to people talk about insurance.
Let me tell you about your house.
And your deductible.
And your deductible.
And your copay.
Oh, wait, it doesn't cover that. No.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting a little off topic. A little animosity towards that.
Yeah. And I mean, just to kind of tie that up, also feeling like people do content. A lot of people put a lot of content out there. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm like, well, I don't want to just be like that person. You know, I don't want to just make that video because we like it, or, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm copying them. And I don't want to be like the 100th millionth person that's, starting reels all of a sudden. But, it definitely surprised me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to start, if you are looking at starting something, is to find what people are already doing and find what the algorithm and has already been viewed lots and lots of times.
Yeah.
Follow those accounts and then recreate those. So along your point is you don't want to recreate them. We've gotten to the point now that I don't want to recreate them to the extent that we first initially were recreating them.
Right.
And I think that's a good way to get people's foot in the door, because not only are you putting yourself out there vulnerability wise, that's a hard word to say, especially when you've been having some wine, vulnerable,
vulnerability.
But coming up with ideas that are maybe creative and funny and gets people's attention, that in and of itself is vulnerability.
Yeah.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, there you go.
It's tough. That's a tongue twister. I don't know why it is. But like, because you're putting your acting skills on the line, and you're also putting, your ideas out there. And I think the ideas are what hurt me more if it doesn't go the way I want people to laugh or see my intentions, or we weren't able to shoot it that way.
For sure.
So I guess if I'm going to encourage somebody, that's the way I would do it again.
Yeah. And I feel like I was almost on the opposite page, where I was more worried about what people like thought of me, or like looking right or saying the perfect thing in that scenario. So it's like sometimes when I'm on camera.
And then you saw me talk.
Yeah.
Vulnerability.
Yeah. Well, that was natural. I mean, you should see me on camera sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like I'm talking monotone the whole time. But
Lauren, do you have the poop?
Yeah. No, seriously though. And so it was the opposite, where to me, in my head, I thought that like the filming and that type of stuff was the hard part, where that's your specialty. Like you can cut a video film. Like, that's what you majored in. Like that's your specialty.
Yeah.
But it is truly coming up with your own unique content and like staying true to yourself, and that was like one of our biggest things is like, we want people to be able to relate to us, but like to the real us, like not like a fake made up version of us.
Right.
Right.
And what you see is what we are.
Yeah. What you see is what you get.
For the most part. Yeah. Like today's video, I was picking up some bottles of whiskey, like saying I have a drinking problem, which I don't have a drinking problem necessarily.
You'll have to watch the video.
But I like to have whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny.
Yeah. It is funny.
Yeah. Let's jump around a little bit and talk about what our hope is for doing this podcast.
Yeah. I think just to start off, as far as just me personally, my hope is, like you just said, for other people that were in my position that are really looking to, take their, whether it be their business, their brand, whatever, to the next level. And they're so scared to, just like I was. And I guess scared is the wrong word, just apprehensive, like nervous, like, oh, that cold feet type thing where you want to jump in, but you're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I just hope that, people can hear this, see us, and just know that like it is totally worth it. And guess what? It took us 3 years to get there.
It took a long time. So.
And it was okay. I think it totally happened for a reason. I'm so glad that, we jumped back in, that you encouraged me to jump back in, that we had the time to jump back into it, to do all of this stuff with changes in our business. So I just hope that people can get encouragement, women or, anybody in general, that, you can be really bad at it like I was and still kind of flip the switch and find your niche and be comfortable.
Yeah. I think I'm the same way. I think, for this episode, that's a good point. Yeah. I think for the longevity of the podcast, one, it's a way for me and you to connect. And I'm really excited to be able to do this and talk through it. And it's a way to rekindle our week and talk about our week and process our week. And hopefully we can get real on here.
Yeah. And it's going to get real.
It is. And I want to encourage people that, you might see someone on social media that has it all together, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be that light to other people, like, man, we're going through it.
Yeah.
We can weather the storm. You can weather the storm. And just show that our marriage is real.
Yeah. We're not going to sugarcoat things.
No. We get in fights. We love each other. Yeah. And she's my best friend.
And he still makes me make reels.
Yes.
Even when we're fighting.
Yes. We have fought over many reels.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Many times. Wow. And we put a face on, we finish it, and it's all good.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I think that's my hope for it. And you're going to see in the, coming weeks, the videos that we start progressing out and putting out. Mm-hmm. We have one that you're going to see next week in episode 2. We're going to talk about it, is a 24-hour challenge that we're going to handcuff each other together for 24 hours and try to parent for 24 hours. And there's a whole reason that we can get into. But I'm going to save it for the video, and I hope that people that do listen to this come back and listen to us talk through some of the challenges that we're going to face.
So handcuffed, like police handcuffs.
Police handcuffed.
They're going to be locked together for 24 hours.
Yes. Okay. No sexy time.
I was just,
this is
yeah. I was just making sure I had that straight. Like the key is somewhere else. We have no access to it, and we are locked together that's probably 2 inches apart.
Yeah. For 24
hours.
How we sleep, how we shower, how we parent, how we cook, how we clean, how we drive, how we change. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be challenging for us as a marriage. And I think it's going to be fun to really process through those, emotions that we kind of go through, the ups and the downs and the hard times. But I'm excited for it. And, we're excited for you guys to keep coming back, and this will be, a weekly thing. So the next episode is going to be on the 24 hours and just kind of processing through what we went through. So
the highs and the lows.
Tune in next week. And if you haven't already, go catch that video and listen to episode 2. See you guys later.
See ya.